Howdy folks, Max Caveman here, bringing you to my first Scarlet and Violet base set video. As with most of the sets that I do open, I tend to get some build and battle kits. However, this one here is the build and battle kit that I used at the pre-release event. I'm doing this video because we were completely full. Normally I can get some kits that were spare. Usually they get offered up. There were no kits remaining, so this is what I ran at the event. So in these kits you do get some code cards. You get a code card for the kit, as well as this. This was quite interesting. So this is actually a trainer's tip for the deck that you are provided with, and you do get a little sheet with all the cards on them. So those are the main things, plus you do get a deck and 4 packs. Now I'll first start off with what I didn't use in the deck, and then move over to the main deck itself. Now in my deck I had the Quaxley line. I managed to get a 3-2-1 Quaxley, Quaxwell, and Quaquavol. I didn't feel like that was a good synergy for the deck that I could have, what I did build. So interesting, this was a secondary deck, because you did have the chance to get a pre-release Quaquavol, which I didn't get, so I ultimately decided to drop these, and you'll see why once I go through the deck. But for the pulls from the packs, I did get the Masquerada as one of the big pulls. Did get some of the Toadstool, Tarantula, which I am going to be using that in a Spidops deck. So there isn't too much that I could have used. A lot of missing evolution stages. I did get another Quaxley, which I could have used, and this shows off this really nice looking reverse holo. And do I have a, so you can see you have this nice impact of the energy, and then there's energies mixed throughout. You can see the difference there. I really like this foiling, a bit better than the foilings we've had in the Sword and Shield. And just as a reminder, this is a Sword and Shield reverse. So a bit more intricate designed in this. Definitely far superior than the other one, in my opinion. So a nice variety in total. This Tatsugiri is actually a big combo piece. One of the decks that I managed to face off against a couple times revolved around Tatsugiri and Dondozo, which was a part of the starter decks that you can get. So if I got that with the Quaxley, I probably would have played a full water deck, but I didn't. What I did play is a lightning deck, and these are some of the cards that I didn't end up using. It wasn't worth running the Magnemite, and I couldn't get a I didn't get a Toxel, so could use the Polmo, but I'll get to what actually my deck looked like. So just a couple more random training cards and the energy. We have a new energy design, which I'm glad it does say basic here for each of them. I know that we had a ruling issue at my locals that we didn't realize for a couple of years, until we had someone new come in that had been going to different events and brought it up that we had been doing the ruling wrong, with the special energies. So that just clears up any sort of confusion that may come out. Now, this is the deck that I ended up using. I used the Crown Zenith Elite Trainer Box sleeves. Really regret it. The corners broke like in the first lot of shuffling. I personally don't like these sleeves. I think I've mentioned this before in some of my ETB openings. You ideally want to run these sleeves with an oversleeve to protect the corners, and they do split quite easily. But let's actually have a look at the deck that I ended up running. So with this deck, I placed second overall. I went 3-1, and got, if you are familiar with the way Pokemon deals with tiebreakers, I lost. I came second because of my opponent's percentages. So my opponents throughout the earlier rounds placed a bit lower at the end, so I ended up placing under first place, which I defeated in the last round, which is just a little bit annoying, seeing as I came out on above in our game but lost due to a point spread. So for the tool cards, big difference now is tool cards are their own classification, and not a category of item cards. So I ran the Vitality Band and the Defiance Band. Really good. A lot of the decks were lightning based and were water based, and I ran a electric focus deck. So those helped with weakness for some of the bigger bodied opponents. So for the stadiums, did I run a second one? No, I ran Mesa Goza. Great way to search a deck for any Pokemon. Flip a coin. If heads, search a deck for a Pokemon and put it into your hand. Most people, we just played it down, evolved it and stuff. I did manage to pull a Professor's Research from my packs, so that was a great addition. Ran 3 Nest Balls, which is more or less going to be the Quick Ball replacement. Search a deck for a basic Pokemon and put it on the bench. So slightly better than, it could be considered better or worse than Quick Ball. You don't have to discard. So I do think you come out better with Nest Ball in total. I'm definitely going to be looking to pick up quite a few copies of this to replace all my Quick Balls. So I did get a Nemona, which is your basic draw 3 card, like any other rival. I do wish this was rival or friends. And then we get something like Professor's Research, where it's the so Professor's Research is the card, and then we have the sub name here. In this case, Professor Tarot. So I think that is the only issue I have with these basic draw 3s. Is that it needs to be rival, and then Nemona over here. Just something I have been really getting annoyed with the countless reprints of a basic draw 3. So another big card I found is Youngster. So I only had 2 copies. It's a shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 5. This is going to be the main Marnie replacement at the moment for me, as well as maybe Katie, which I can't remember if I do believe Katie is in this set. Yes, so Katie is shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 8, I believe. So Youngster or Katie is a good Marnie replacement. We still do have Judge, so that's a good thing. I did run 1 Rare Candy and 1 Jacques. Jacques allows you to search the deck for 2 Evolution Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand. Our big thing here is this does not specify rule box Pokemon or rulelets. So you could still run Jacques with a V into VMAX or V Star deck and search 2 of them, so you can get quite a few things. So I ended up running 12 basic lightning energy. I nearly, because I ran this many energies, I nearly actually decked out. You'll see why once I get to the main card of this. Oh, and I did run a energy retrieval. Is there anything else put out in place? And nope. Okay. So moving on to the Pokemon. So I ran a 1 copy of Squawkabilly, which it's mainly there for the Call for Family. Search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon, put them onto your bench. It actually came up quite a lot. You'll see why in just a sec. And being able to then just go, if it's still out in the field, move it up, well, use the fly, and potentially not take any damage from effects. So really interesting. Now these 2 Cyclizar, so I had both versions. They were almost pointless. This is the better one in my opinion, just because you do have the ability to draw 2 cards. I never used it. It was mainly as a basic starter most of the time. But nothing really came up with those. So now moving on to the main part of the deck, the lightning Pokemon. So starting off with, we have this Rotom, which was a bit lackluster. I built the deck around using energy. I put this in for Junk Hunt, which put an item card from the discard into your hand. Great way to use something like energy retrieval, get a 4 energies back. So I thought that could be good. Never came up. Sadly, it was mainly the Thundershock, if at all. So a bit disappointing. One of the main attackers in this deck was the Pachirisu for the Everyone Discharge, which did 10 damage plus 20 more for each lightning Pokemon on the bench. I did run quite a few lightning Pokemon, so I did get up to the 110 threshold, and then I used some of the bands to increase that further, and I was facing against weakness. Well, my opponent was taking weakness damage, so I was one-shotting basically everything when that combo did go off. So an interesting pair is the Wattrel and Kilowattrel. Nothing really to say about Wattrel, but the Kilowattrel, once you evolve it up, you do have that Skill Dive ability attack. 50 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Or sorry, one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not bench. But I used it as bench snipe. Did work really well. And if your opponent's active is a bit more of a heavy body, the Thunder Blast, 140, discard an energy, a lightning energy, worked really well. Now the main focus of the deck is here, we have a 3-2-3 Pormi, Pormo, Pormot line, and that does include the promo for this deck. So Pormi, just one of your basic attackers, just light damage and stuff like that. Now Pormo is where things start getting a bit interesting. You do have a paralysis attack, so that's a big thing. And then we do have Electrogenesis Pomot, which allows you to get energy from the deck to attach it to this for a 230 base power attack. And at that stage you do discard all your energy. Now, I do have 2 packs that I'm going to open now. These were entry packs that I wanted to save, so I had at least something in here to do. Okay, so I do believe. Okay, so it's. Okay, so was it a Patrick? I think it's 1 to the front. I gotta double check that now. So we do have a basic fighting energy: Starly, Flittle, Shroomish, Mankey, Team Star Grunt, Zangoose. We have a Youngster, a Reverse Toadstool, Primeape, and a Dondozo. So this is the Dondozo that works with the Tatsugiri. Using that Release Rage, doing 50 damage for each Tatsugiri in the discard. So that does stack up quite well. Interesting enough, I didn't pull any like high rarity pulls. So it looks like the code cards don't matter which color they are. So it should be 1. So new card trick, 1 card from the back to the front. I think the best pull was the Full Art Penny. I know a few people pull, one player in particular pulled a secret rare and something else. I got nothing. Hopefully this has something. I think I did see some foiling, but with the new card design, it could have just simply been that. So we've got a Dark Energy, Toxel, Roltz, Growlithe, Shuppet, Breloom, Kilowattrel. We've got a Heracross, a Rocky Helmet, a Ponyard, and an Armarouge. So you do get a holo in each pack, which is good, but it is a bit disappointing. I've opened 4 packs in total, 6 packs in total, and haven't pulled anything higher than the rare. So it's a bit disappointing, but that is how things happen. I will say I might be able to get another kit and do a full opening like I usually do. This is just something that I wanted to get done in case I don't manage to get the kits, and I wasn't comfortable recording with everyone around me. We do have a limited time to build the decks and get ready, so I didn't want to take up any unnecessary time for that. Well, that has been my build and battle kit for the Scarlet and Violet pre-release. Hopefully you enjoyed this slight change in deck profile. I am going to be doing some deck profiles in the near future for the pre-rotation and what is most likely going to be changing. So hopefully you do like some deck profiles. But that being said, Scarlet and Violet's around the corner, so hopefully you'll join me when that comes out. But until then, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.